you guys for being here. For all of you that are going to labor on Labor Day, we appreciate that. I know that's, I said that to my wife as I left out this morning, and she said, well, what's changed, right? Ever since I've been working, I don't know if I call it working, but in football, it's just that time of year. So I appreciate you guys being here. We didn't switch up the dates just, so that you guys could take Labor Day off. So obviously week one, I'd start off by saying I thought it was a great night and a great atmosphere. I thought the students got in there a little quicker. It looked like it was filled up, by mid first quarter. I think that was, something that was noticeable. I know our guys mentioned something about that as well, and the night was obviously a great night. What we didn't do a good enough job of is getting the ability to get the home field advantage into play. That's on us, right? I think if there's one thing that really kind of stands out to me that we need to do a better job of is taking advantage of what we've got and that atmosphere that we weren't able to kind of get rolling just by the nature of what the game was, right? We get the ball 3 and out. We get the ball for the first time, take it like 15, 16 plays and miss a field goal, and you go in at halftime, it's 10-7, and it's been about an hour and 10 minutes. And you're just kind of curious. It was like an NFL game, right? There were 3 possessions on both sides. 1 punt, I think, in the whole, or 2 punts in the whole first half, and just very unique and different. And then we created a ball game, right? I mean, maybe there was some good things about that, right? There's the new environment there in the stadium that when you play the full game, maybe there's an advantage to that. But it didn't exactly look, I'm sure, like some of you guys maybe I would have expected it, maybe not exactly the way we expected it. But I think in week one, there's always things that you got to be able to adapt and adjust to. And I would tell you this, that I thought, give them credit, they did a really good job at, finding a way to slow the game down. We didn't do a good enough job at not allowing that to happen. But they also, pretty much came out and different defensive philosophy and even offensively than a lot of the things that we had prepared for. And so that was a challenge and made it a little bit unique on us. They did a good job at eliminating our ability to make some big plays defensively, and in the whole game, to be honest with you, I think in the whole game, I think they had 3 plays of plus 20 yards and we had 0 plays of plus 20 yards. And that's just one of them ones that as you continue to watch it over and over again, you just try to figure out how that kind of happens and what as methodical as it is. But when it comes down to it, we knew that the number one thing for the program is we have to be able to win fourth quarters. And, we were challenged in the fourth quarter, that's for sure. And we found a way and played our best ball in the fourth quarter, made some things happen and really kind of controlled the line of scrimmage. And that's where, that's what we had to do. We just should have done it, I think, a lot earlier.
Start with questions here, Mark.
Luke, as far as adding Jack Del Rio as a special advisor, can you talk about that addition? What you're hoping he'll bring, and have you ever done anything like this in your career before?
No. As the summer hit, I was looking, and there was a few guys out there that I think it's a unique thing. Like it only works if you've got some type of relationship to me, right? To just have people around, to be around. I don't know what that really does. And had some ideas going into the summer, based on, good friends of mine that maybe were out, or even other guys that could kind of come in and say, okay, it'd be nice to have somebody in a little bit of a different role. Special advisor to the head coach, but really uniquely to help us with some things, offensively, defensively, a different eye, a different view, but also in this evolving world of what we're going to go into next year when it comes down to this revenue sharing stuff too. And so somebody that, can give us some insight on the experiences, what the NFL is like in some of those ways. So there's a lot of different things that I was looking for and didn't find somebody, so it wasn't like we were just going to do it. And then in camp, Jack came to visit and spent 2.5 days with us, and it just, kind of was one of those things that was pretty unique. He was actually open to doing something, and I had been, kind of talking about that. And so our history goes back a little bit, that when I was trying to still play down in New Orleans, he was my workout partner for about 8 months as he was getting out of the league, and he was just getting into the NFL as a strength coach. And for like 7 or 8 months, we were workout partners as I rehabbed back and became pretty, somewhat tight there and stayed in contact. And So for me to have somebody in here that's, obviously got a different eye and a uniqueness to be able to communicate with me, but also to give us some other perspectives on different things, I think it can be a really good thing for us.
Just you touched on it a little, but specifically having somebody whose primary background is in the NFL rather than college, what kind of dynamic does that bring? Just the NFL perspective.
No, I don't want it to think that it's an NFL perspective. It's a football coach's perspective. It's a really sharp guy, smart guy that sees things through a lens of a head coach as well to help me. It's a guy that for our guys offensively is another eye to say, hey, okay, hey, here's some early on scouting report things of a defensive eye truly watching this stuff and what I see. And then obviously defensively with Coach Tressel and just another perspective. He's going to be a guy to really kind of evaluate the game after it's over, give us some insights on some things that he sees from his eye. Not being in the room all day, every day, you get a little bit of a different perspective. And then where the program is going to continue to grow to, there's some new things in how you're going to structure some of that stuff based on what you believe in your system. And so he gives us a different perspective in all those things.
Luke, can you quantify what Aaron Witt has brought to this program, not just on the field but off, and maybe how people?
Well, I would
rallied
mention
around
that, and I know Aaron probably, I don't know if we want to talk about, but he lost his mother last week, and was a very difficult situation. But he wanted to be here. He wanted to be with his teammates and things like that. And the guys that truly know Aaron, like the guys that are older on this team, understand all the different things that he's been through. The younger guys don't, but I don't think you have to understand him to recognize his passion and love, not just for the game, but for this place and this program and this team. And so he provides so much to so many different people, to be honest with you. The young guys just recognizing, what passion looks like, what energy, what effort looks like, and to the older guys of what adversity looks like, what, the ability to, not, waver in what it is that you want to do, regardless of what the situation is. That perseverance for the older guys is quite unique. And even for us as coaches that didn't know him and don't really know all the different things that he's been through, to be tied and to see a guy to be an example in your locker room, he means a lot more than what you just see on the football field.
It's kind of a two-part question, but obviously every position has its learning curve. For cornerbacks, in your experience, what's that learning curve when you jump from the high school to the college level? And then how has a guy like Xavier Lucas maybe accelerated his?
Well, I think at that position, there's maybe not as many things. I think it comes down to your learning curve initially is, can you do the simple things really well? Meaning, can your ability, play into the factor before all the other, little fundamental things, the knowledge of the game and the different things that you do. That position gives you a better opportunity probably to play at a younger age if your skill set when you walk in matches what it is that you actually need to do on the football field. And I'm not saying everybody's doesn't, but big guys coming in, they can be strong, they can be physical, but there's a different nature to that. Guys, athletes coming in have a better shot if they are, skilled wise, able to do some of the things that, that don't take a whole lot of, development, right? I mean, natural abilities and his ability to run and cover, it does that. So the good news is we've got some depth in that room. The good news is he's got some really great guys to learn from and battle with. So he did. It wasn't the first play. I think some said maybe the first play he was in when he made that play, but he was actually in there a little bit more. Actually was going to go in the series before as well. So he's a guy you're going to continue to see more and more of, and his skill set matches, the things that allow a young guy, especially at that position, to play really early and play well.
Luke, it appeared that Phil was still signaling in plays, offensive plays. Is he talking to Tyler as well in that? And is there any reason why you're still signaling stuff in?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't know, I mean, like in college football, not many people huddle. So it's really difficult to think that you don't have a headset in everybody's helmet. So the signals have to still go. There's things that he tells Tyler that he can now signal to the wideouts on adjustments, but we even said that going into the summer. Like, I don't know how offenses, unless they huddle, are really going to use the microphone, right? It's more of a check or some reminders and things like that. We still signal defensively because in a hurry-up situation, you can't get it to everybody. It's not, the NFL huddles. So I think that trying to figure out how those things can work and be the most efficient to you. But it doesn't help you in those hurry up. I asked every NFL coach that I knew, hey, how do you use it? And they said, well, we don't want to rely upon it because in any tempo situation or any 2-minute situation, we can't use it. So we have to make sure we're efficient in doing the things that we do and the ability to signal. So it's there. We use it for different things, but unless we're, in a methodical, slow down huddle situation, it's probably not going to be something that can be, echoed across